All right, here we go. There we go. We're back. Sorry about that. We'll give a moment here for people to roll in. Ah, boy. Okay, so here's what happened. Too much Labatt's? No. Once in a while, like the camera right here, this camera, when I'm getting ready to live stream, I always look and there are white lights on the side of it, and they're always lit up. And I was like, oh my God, I got to hurry up. I got to get, into the uh, the stream. I got to get the stream started. So all of a sudden, what I did is I went click live, go live, and that was blank. I had to reset that. And normally I do that noticing ahead of time, but it was like, it was 7:58, and I was like, oh crap, I got to go live. And so, you know, but what you're hearing, the weird noise you're hearing, is the furnace. For That's what you're hearing in the background there. So it's not a weird noise. It's just a furnace kicking on. So I yeah. So I had set the live stream up. I had to run the generator for a little while, and actually, when this stream is over, I'm going to have to run it again for a bit. So it is what it is. It's that time of year, and I was gone most of the day, so I was not home to fire up the generator and get that rocking and rolling. So it's just one of those things that happens, and just got to deal with it and go on from there. But we're getting better days coming up, actually. So today was I woke up this morning, and it was it was freaking cold. It was snowing. Not a fun day to be on the road. I'm gonna just look at the weather real quick here, and I'll tell you what we're. And it's so weird because like this weekend is gonna be like so nice. So tonight's overnight low is gonna be 29. It's probably in that range already right now, to be honest with you. Tomorrow's high is gonna be 50, and there's gonna be sunshine. And then Friday is gonna be 60, with an overnight low of 33. Where I think today's high was 36. Uh, then Saturday is going to be 61 for a high with a 48 for an overnight low. It's just so bizarre. Uh, but yeah, so we had a couple of really cold, chilly days here, and that's what happens, unfortunately. But I know it's just the weather's bizarre, and they wonder why everybody's getting sick, right? There's a lot of stuff going around. It's flu season, right? Imagine that, it's flu season. Not that it's called the flu anymore, but it's still flu season. I will tell you what, I would encourage you all a couple different things, okay? What I do this time of year, and like I didn't do it all summer long. Um, you know, I'm more active in the summer, obviously. You're less active in the winter. Uh, the thing what I do every year, and I just started doing it a couple days ago, and I say a couple days, 4 days ago maybe, I started taking 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. I take vitamin D3. We don't get a lot of sunshine this type of time of year, and you need vitamin D3. It helps your immune system. Zinc also helps your immune system. So I take vitamin D3, I take zinc daily, and I take 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Now you can take as much vitamin C as you want, and it's not going to hurt you in any way, shape, or form, which is a good thing. You cannot overdose on vitamin C. Whatever you don't use, you will pee out. That's how that works for that. So just putting it out there, but I think it's really important. Do they salt the roads if you get snow? They do the main roads. The main roads they'll salt. I live on a side road, and the road that I live on is like roads roads that they will ever address. So if it's and you're out there and you're driving, and I had left early this morning. I had things that I had to do. The roads were covered with snow. It was not good. So it was slow going, but that's okay. Um, it's just that you just have to. Well, I'll put it like this: as a former New Yorker, if I had not gone where I was going today because of a little bit of snow on the road, I would be embarrassed to call myself a former New Yorker. No, I don't use chains. No, no. So, but no, it was it wasn't that bad. It was bad enough. Uh, the back of the truck like twice went give that little kick, let you know you're going just a little bit too fast. I got behind well, so once I finally got out on the main roads were not that terrible, okay, and but there was a FedEx truck in front of me, and he thought it was a really good idea to do like 25, 30 miles an hour. So I mean, literally, as soon as I could, I passed him, got around him, and he was gone. And I'm sure he probably saw my plates and went, "Freaking New Yorkers." But there wasn't enough snow to really deter anything, to be honest with you. All right, before we go any further, I just want to remind everybody 28 here now, going to be 24 tonight. Yeah, a little chilly. Yeah, a little chilly. It's going to start warming up here, so I'm really happy about that. uh, anyway, so just a reminder, very family friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you can't abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue with the wrenches will boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. So let's just have a good chat and share information and kind of go from there. But yeah, all right. So what do we got? We're at 245 in the chat already. We're at 78 on the thumbs up. A nice 10 degrees here. Wood stove is nice tonight. I'm sure it is 80K, man, but you are a tad closer to the Canadian border than most people. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, it's so funny because it's like, the weather down here, and I have to laugh when people have said to me, when I made the decision to move down here, okay? And I got the same thing from a lot of people. They're like, "Oh my God, it still snows in West Virginia. You're still going to get snow." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, but not like New York. It is night and day. The winters here. Now, granted, last winter was a very mild winter. I mean, I think if we had 5 inches of snow the entire winter, that was a lot down here last year. So it was not a bad winter down here at all. It wasn't horribly cold. We had a couple cold streaks, but you get through them, and then yeah, and then it could if it snows down here, a lot of times the next day or two the snow's all gone again. That doesn't happen in New York either. Okay, in New York, once it starts to snow, the temperatures never really warm up for the entirety of winter generally. And so once you get that first layer of snow, then the next layer of snow, and the next, and the next, and the next. So, you know, like I said, it's nothing in comparison. A boat capsized coming across the St. Lawrence with a bunch of Chinese still finding bodies. Wow, that's not good. That's not good. Were they coming across illegally, 80K man? Yeah, it's going to melt this weekend, and then we're getting 6 more inches on Tuesday, I think. How fun for you, Don. But you are in the UP of Michigan. So, again, location, location, location. Um, yeah, I will not miss, if they get crazy storms up in New York and it misses down here, or we get just a little bit down here. I can live with that. 80K misses, you can say that. Yeah, well, I'm just reaching. I'm reaching. I don't know for sure, but oh, too funny. Too funny. So I gotta tell you. So what's been happening with YouTube? And this kill. And again, older video. I did not get a strike for it, but they went into one of my older videos, and I did. It was an hour and 20-minute live stream, like we're doing right now. And somebody had mentioned, um, childhood shots, right? And they had made a statement, and I agreed with the statement in the chat. I said, yes, I agree with that statement that the person in the chat had made. And I was told through YouTube, they did not give me a strike. It's an older video. Perhaps I was unaware. Okay, so I'm glad they're not giving me strikes for stupid little things from forever ago for videos that nobody watches anymore. But they were like, it's medical misinformation. And I love that term. I love, you know, I'm a nurse, right? You'd think maybe I might know more than some pencil pusher or some AI that is geared towards looking for certain things. Oh yeah, and by the way, right? I've lived it. I saw what happened to my son. Okay, so and so again, sadly, sadly, on this channel, I am unable. Yeah, they still watch that FEMA video. Yeah, yeah, that FEMA video. I think it's up to 1.75 million views, something like that. People are still watching it though. But yeah, it's. But yeah, like I said, it's just I really do need to make some exclusive content for Rumble. Now I have a Rumble account now, as you guys know. I think I've mentioned that before. But what I have to do is I really gotta start making some videos just for that channel that I think things that I can't say on YouTube that I would be able to say over there. God, don't you love what a free country we are? What a free country, right? Great that we're completely censored when we express our opinions or our views. I did a Critter Lover. I did a video quite a while ago, many years ago now, and I said 90% of people will go to FEMA camps, and here's why. So if you look that one up, um, if you're having issues with audio, everybody else hearing me okay? If it's you, what you might need to do is sign out and then sign back in. But so yeah, if you're having issues, everybody else seems to be okay. So it might be on your end, Nettie. But that comes up in my feed often. Oh, that's cool. So I guess I'm still yeah, everybody else is okay. All right, yeah. So if you're having issues, then I would suggest signing out and signing back in. Uh, Philip, if you're buffering, then again, I would suggest sign out and sign back in. That's the best way that you can do it because it's probably on your end because it's not happening here. I'm not having any issues on this end, and I'm not having anybody else saying that they're having problems. That worked, Nettie? Good. All right, cool. Yeah, so Philip, do the same thing. Sign out and then sign back in. But only occasionally? Okay. Well, I mean, you are way across the pond. Way across the pond. So, but anyway, yeah, it's. I'm looking, and this is a weekend everybody's getting together here. And actually, I've had quite a few people are sick. And my thing is, if you are sick, stay home. This is the only channel that I have buffing issues. Isn't that interesting how that happens? Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I know that they play a lot of games with, and again, I'm not like, oh, they're attacking me. but certain channels, certain content of certain channels, definitely, they play a lot of games. So it is what it is. There's not much I can do about it. I just continue to do the best I can. Unfortunately, people get unsubscribed all the time. Russell Brand is putting more on Rumble too. Well, yeah, because what happened to him. I mean, the freaking British government went after him. They apparently didn't like what he was saying and what information that he was putting out. Imagine that. And see, this is what kills me again. Talk again about supposedly free countries. You're only free as long as you don't talk about the things that they don't want you to talk about. They don't want you to have a dissenting opinion. They don't want you to come on here and have a platform and say, hey, you know what? I don't agree with X, Y, or Z. They don't want you to do that. And so, they will strikes, they'll shadow ban you, they will not put your content out there, all those type of things. I mean, yeah, you're free to do what they want. I like that, DJ. Yes, that is exactly right. So YouTube is changing a bunch of rules more in January. Oh, why does that not surprise me coming up on an election year? Because I found it very interesting. And again, like I said, I always have a lot of questions. Always have a lot of questions. Not always all the answers are there, right? So one of the questions that I would have, so might as well go into what we're going to be talking about, different things. Um, I found it interesting that after Trump won the election in his presidential bid against Hillary Clinton, they were come all like unglued uh, and saying, and I'm not saying it happened, I'm not saying it didn't happen, I'm just saying what they said on social media, right? They were like, oh, there was all this Russian misinformation, and that's why Trump ended up winning the election and all this type of stuff, right? We remember all those things. And so, because if you say it enough, right, regardless of what it is, I'm not saying but I'm saying if you repeat something enough, then people begin to believe whatever they're told. So, it's just it's craziness. But so when the next election came last time against Biden, they really, the social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, they really suppressed a lot of information and wouldn't put a lot of things out there if it was for a certain candidate. As we know, I mean, I'm not giving misinformation on that. A lot of things were not allowed. I'll put it like that because I don't want to say that you couldn't say anything, but a lot of things were not allowed to be said. So, it was much more restricted, the information that was put out there. You were not allowed to have a dissenting opinion. But if it was information the other way, again, I'm not saying which is which, allegedly, right? Right? Allegedly, Dawn. And so, that's these things happen, guys. And so, it was more, let's put it like this. The second election was much more tightly controlled. I guess, is that a good way to put it? I guess, what information you were allowed to have or see, I guess is the right way to put that. Not saying what side, not saying it was done or targeting an individual. It was just, you know, it was more regulated, I guess is the right word. Allegedly regulated. It is amazing to me. It is amazing to me, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, who am I? What do I know? I don't know nothing. Now, see, Whispering Pines, I can't say that out loud on the channel because if I did, I would be accused of spreading misinformation. So, I can't say that that's an interesting. I can say this: it's an interesting statement. How was that? I can say with what you just said, but I can't say that either. Some of the things, like I said, certain things I am not allowed to discuss. You know, it's so funny. So, you know, what are some of the topics that we're not allowed to talk? Let me rephrase this. Let me rephrase this. What are some of the talk about as long as we agree with the narrative? Does that make sense? Right? January 6th would be one. I can't give you my opinion on that because if I do, I will be accused of spreading misinformation and that I would get a strike, right? So, you know, that I find fascinating. If I'm giving my opinion, how is my opinion misinformation? That's what I truly don't understand. I really don't. When I gave information, when I talked about this, right, that was considered medical misinformation until later on down the road, a lot of the things people were talking about turned out amazingly enough and shockingly enough that wasn't misinformation, but it was actually based on, you know, using your brain and thinking for yourself and those type of things. So again, like I said, you know, those are things I can't talk about and give you my true opinion and feelings on this platform. I could, like I said, again on Rumble. I really need to go in and really do a few videos and talk about certain things. Another one would be, um, you know, 9/11, right? Oh, you better be careful with that one. So, you know, again, it's sad to me. It's sad that, and again, when if I talk about any of these things, I'm giving you my opinion. All right, I am, and the way that I'm giving my opinion is by research information that I've looked into, and if I add up to two, then something's not right, in my opinion. That's strictly my opinion. Whatever, you know, whatever the situation is, if it doesn't add up, it doesn't add up, and if it doesn't make sense, but the narrative has been put out there and this is the information and this is all you can say, and if you say anything different then you're going to be punished. I mean, that is it to me. That's sad. That's sad. And that's yeah, it's um I think it's dangerous in mind control. I think it's really dangerous, really really dangerous. But Ed, have you thought about at locals account? They're a bit more free speech over there. Like I said, I'm on Rumble as well. So like when I do these videos for YouTube, they automatically go up on Rumble as well. So you know, but I do wanna, and when I do eventually start throwing some content up over there, I'll let you guys know, and I'll say, hey, go check out this that I put up over there, and you know, like I said again, I can be more free to say what I want to say, and I think that's a good thing. It should be everywhere, you know. It should be everywhere, but fortunately, that's not the case. Like I said, you're only free to share what they have approved that you share. You know, heaven forbid that you have, you know, a dissenting opinion, and you know, it's just. And here's something I want to talk about. Here's a question that I have. What happened? Um, Not anymore. YouTube stopped that link to Rumble. Oh, did they? Well, I'll have to look and see because I know that I have an IT guy that takes care of that. So I'll have to look and see if you know that is everything's still going up over there. It should be. I don't know. We'll have to see. But it's called indoctrination of a nation. Well, that would be one term, Don. That would be one term. But it's yeah. Like I said, I don't know. Like I said, when you see different things happening. This is what I wanted to talk about too. So, and again, like I said, more questions than answers. To be honest with you, what happened to our country, right? When when I was growing up, and it was a comedian did a skit on this, which I thought was amazing. It was a funny skit, but it was 100% true, which I thought was very interesting. Um, Talking about being offended, you know. Well, if you're offended by whatever, too bad. Who cares? That's your problem. If you're offended, oh well, get over it. Grow up. You're an adult, Um, People that now, they're offended and you have to change this or change that. I mean, these people do it. They were doing it to Elon Musk. And I don't know if you saw what Elon Musk's reply was, which I thought was awesome. uh, which I thought was absolutely, I love it. I love his reply. The advertisers over on X, it's now X, it's not Twitter anymore, it's now X. Um, he was like, the advertisers were saying, well, this, that, or the other thing, you need to change this, that, or the other thing. And he said, yourself. He said, you don't want to advertise on my channel? He goes, go F your. I just thought that that was amazing. Amazing. Good for him. Good for him. And it just goes to show you how much they want to control whatever the narrative is. And when I say they, right, a lot of times when I say they, I am referring to the people that truly run this country, not our government, in my opinion, strictly my opinion, allegedly. Allegedly the government runs a country, but the government doesn't do anything that big business doesn't tell them, right? Regulations, laws. Um, you have lobbyists for, let's see. There's one that I can think of off the top of my head that has a lot of influence in the government. One business, So I'm gonna ask you guys in here, who do you think, business wise? So we're talking, I don't want to give it away, but who do you think, what part of big business has the biggest influence on our government? And so that's a question I have for you. So we're gonna go with that really quick, and we'll see what your guys' answers are. So that's and then we're gonna go for there. And this one has in my opinion, strictly again my opinion, but who am I? Or allegedly, has the biggest influence with our government, or the biggest pull, right? So, so you guys are pretty smart. Big pharma, big pharma, the lobbyist. If you look up of the things, the lobbyists in Washington D.C. that are working for big pharma, the number of politicians who get large donations from big pharma, and you name which one. It don't matter which one. Okay. Um, you have, there's a lot of influence with what goes on. So big pharma's one. Insurance companies are another one. Banks are in that mix. You're talking Walmart. They're a huge, huge company. You know, so oil stocks, or oil companies. They have, the power companies. All those big, big conglomerates, they have a lot of pull and they have a lot of say, and they have a lot of money. Um, yeah, insurance companies. I did say insurance companies. So yeah, and it's just they have a tremendous amount of influence of what gets done, and what you have to understand how it works. Okay, you decide you want to be a politician because you're going to go to Washington and you're going to change things, right? And if you don't play ball when you get to Washington D.C. and you don't go along with what they've been doing forever, ever and a day, you're going to be out. You're going to do your 4 years and you're going to be out because they're going to come up with a scandal. They're going to come up with dirt on you. They're going to come up with, ethics committees and all this type of stuff. They're going to come up with all kinds of reasons to get you out of that office and put somebody in there that is going to be more willing to do what they're told. Why do you think people like Chuck Schumer, right? Nancy Pelosi, Kevin McCarthy, even, okay? Politician that's been in that office for 20 plus years. Why do you think that they, and it don't matter what side of the aisle, guys, don't matter if it's Republican, don't matter if it's a Democrat, just putting that out there too. Mitch McConnell's another one, absolutely. They've been there so long, they know how to play the game. They know how to manipulate the system. They know what they need to do, and they get used to having that power. Yeah, I saw McCarthy is not rerunning again. He's retiring, I guess, if you will. So, but these and like I said, what I always find interesting about politicians is that when it comes to actually doing something to help, right? They go through this big, long, huge process. It takes forever and all these debates, and this one stands up and that one stands up, and they all say this and that. But when it comes time for them to vote themselves in a race, and who does, why do we have to have them make the decision on their raises? But boy, they always pass those pretty quick. I think that that's awesome that they're able to do that. They'll never do term limits. They'll never agree to term limits. Now, as the American people, we could say yes, there should be term limits, but they'll never vote that in for themselves. Why would they? When they can have a comfy job for 30, 35 years or until they die in office, you know, they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. You look at Feinstein was another great example. All kinds of health issues, all kinds of problems. Did she quit? Nope, she died in office. So insane, insanity. And we, the American people, here's a definition of insanity, guys. You want me to give you the definition of insanity? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity. So if you live in a city, right? Let's go with Chicago. Let's go with Chicago because why not, right? So you live in Chicago and you keep voting these same type of people in over and over and over again, and they keep giving you that lip service, and they keep telling you, oh, well, we're going to do this and it's going to get better and it's going to be great and blah 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 blah. And what changes? Nothing. Nothing changes. Things continue to get worse. They pass laws, where it enables the insanity of this is what drives me nuts. This is what drives me nuts. If you go right now to Walmart, any of the big box stores, okay, the policies that these morons have in place now, and I say morons and I mean that completely and wholeheartedly. These morons, what they do now, if somebody is stealing, right? Um, I don't know what the policy is for Walmart other than what the policy is once the thief is outside the door. That I know because they told me. All right. So you're in Walmart and you're stealing. If you get outside, right, with the stuff that you stole, they're not allowed to chase you. They're not allowed to follow you to your car. They're not allowed to do any of that. They can't do any of that. Now, there's other companies that I know that have the same exact policy that they know they're coming in to their stores. They know that they're stealing, right? And I asked this because it just blows me away the thought process. So I said, I have a question. And they were like, okay. So your policy is not to stop them from stealing, not to chase them out of the store, not to get their plate number of their car, any of that type of stuff, not to call the police, nothing. So these criminals have carte blanche. They can do whatever they want to do. And That's perfectly fine, right? If you know Joe Smith is coming into your store once a week, twice a week, and he's stealing stuff, I said, why don't you just ban him from the store? You don't have to have a reason. You can't say, yeah, we know you're stealing, because you can't accuse anybody of stealing. Heaven forbid, you could maybe hurt their feelings. Maybe they would be, maybe they would be offended, right? They could be offended. You're accusing me of stealing? Well, when you come into the store every time with your big jacket on, and then when you walk out, when you don't buy nothing, and it looks like you got something under your arm, maybe, who knows, right? Um, it is insanity to me. Insanity that these companies are allowing this to happen, and that's their policies because they don't want to get any of their employees hurt. Well, how about you have, you know, why should why should any of us pay? Well, that's a good question, but you know why? Because a lot of us are, law-abiding citizens. That's why. But the scumbags are going to continue to be scumbags, and when that bell goes off in their head and they're, hey, there's no consequences for my actions, you know, it happens, folks. It happens. And it happens a lot more than you think. You know, they could steal up to what? I think it's like $1,000 worth of stuff, and they're not even going to get arrested. They're not even going to get arrested. It's mind boggling to me that these big companies, that this is what their policies are. It just blows me away. I mean, it happens like, well, last year, I think it was last year, Walmart, just Walmart, had $5 billion in theft. 5 billion. So think about that. That's a lot of stuff. That is an incredible amount of stuff stolen. Now they profited what, 165 billion, I think is what it was. So and so here's what they do. They just write it off. They just write it off. They don't care. Here's what I find is interesting too. And I want to. I'm in a mood to share. Let's talk about different things, which I think a lot of it is amazing to me. Okay, so all right. So let's say we'll give this example, and this is how this works, folks. Okay, this is how this works. Okay, so the banks. Do the banks ever lose? The answer to that question is no. They never lose. So we're going to go with a mortgage first. We're going to talk about a first, okay? And then after that, we're going to talk about a credit card. Now, I'll tell you how it works. So you get this mortgage for your house, and if you have not put 20% down on that house, you have to carry PMI, which is private mortgage insurance, right? Does that protect you, the person who's buying the house? No, that protects the bank. So, what that private mortgage insurance is, that if you don't pay, right, you don't pay your mortgage and you go in default and you have your house foreclosed on, the bank is guaranteed they're getting their money. 100%. Whatever you owe, they're getting that money. But you, the person that is trying to buy the house, is paying for that private mortgage insurance. Now, that can be taken off once you have 20% equity in your home, because they figure that once you have 20% equity in your home, then you're not going to default on your mortgage. You probably sell. Now, let's talk about how this works as well. So, you want to buy a house or you want to sell your house, right? If you pay attention to all the fees that are in there, and again, who do those fees benefit? Oh, well, it's the bank. Imagine that, right? Um, so you've got this house, you're loving it, everything's great. Now, situation changes, somebody has died, you've lost your job, whatever the case may be, you can't pay your mortgage. Okay. So your house goes into foreclosure. Now, this is how that works. You're going to love this one. All right. So your house goes into foreclosure and you're going to lose your house. So you either leave right away or you stay until the last dog is hung. And then what they ended up doing, and this, again, guys, this information I'm going to give you is all factual. So you stay in that house as long as you can. Eventually, they sell the property. The bank sells the property, right? So first of all, okay, and I want you to figure out how this works, right? So first of all, the bank is getting 100% of their money to start with because of the private mortgage insurance that you paid for them. So they're getting 100% of that. Then they auction the house off. They sell it to whatever company. They don't care. And let's say they sell it for, you know, 40% of what the house was worth. They get that money too. So they're getting paid no matter what, right? So they're getting paid and then they're getting paid again. So now this new bank, right, now owns the house. So this is what the bank does. They have the realtor come to the house, give you a notice saying, you know, listen, we now own the house. Um, if you leave voluntarily, right, they're going to give you three options. They're going to give you three options: 15 days, 30 days, and then I think it's 60 days. It's either 15, 30, and 60, or 15, 30, and 90, something in that range. They're going to give you time to get out. And if you do, they're going to give you, what you have to leave the house in, though. You have to leave the house in broom swept condition. So you're not like gutting the house. You're not leaving a mess. You're not, stealing all the plumbing or any of the appliances, none of that stuff, okay? If you leave the house in broom swept condition, they're going to give you XYZ amount of money when you leave. So think about that. So for you, you've lived in the house for XYZ amount of time, didn't pay your mortgage, you live there for free, and then at the end they pay you to leave, because for them it's cheaper to do that than go through the process of getting you evicted, and you decide, well, I'm going to destroy the inside of this house before I leave because I want my revenge. It's better for them, because otherwise, and then you leave a mess and you leave all kinds of trash and garbage or whatever the case may be. It's better for them to pay you to leave. And that's what happens, okay? But the bank never loses in that situation. Never loses in that situation. So interesting situation there. So, and that is factual information that I know for a fact. It's not egg count time quite yet. A couple more minutes. Now, I wonder if I should. I don't, because the credit card one is going to be about as long to explain. So, what do we got? 319 in the chat. We're at 166 thumbs up, guys. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel, and I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithm, so I thank you for that as well. I got PMI check when Bank of America sold the mortgage to another company. They started a new PMI, and I wanted to check back because they said I owed less than a certain percentage. They said no. Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, 20%. If you own 20% equity in your house, you can get rid of the PMI, and that saves you money, because that money that you're paying out for the PMI is only helping the bank. That's it. So, but all right, we're going to go ahead. We're going to do the egg count actually early, a whole minute early here. Because I want to go on and talk about the credit card stuff, what happens with that next. So, okay, how many eggs today? And yes or no, did the white hen lay? So I'll let you guys give me your answers, and we will go from there. So give you guys a moment. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to get a drink. Roll tonight, just so you know. Got the soapbox out. But this what I'm talking about, it just shows you how flawed the entire system is. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about something else as well with that. So if you guys had the same exact guess as Robert O'Connor, DJ, you had a nice guess, but it was not correct tonight. And he was out first with his guess. His guess came out first, but it was not correct. Robert O'Connor with 3 eggs today, and yes for the white hen, then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Robert. You've won absolutely nothing, and you are happy about it. So there we go. So now, let's talk about credit cards. Credit cards are fun. Oh my goodness gracious, credit cards are fun. Um, so you go and you apply for a credit card. I don't care if it's a bank, a box store, whatever, right? And you get your credit card. And you're like, yes, I got this credit card. Now I have credit. I can go out and I can spend and stuff like that. Now, the interest rates that they're charging nowadays, the mafia would be impressed at the interest rates. A lot of times now, I mean, if you're lucky, you might get an interest rate of 15 to 16% if you're really lucky. If you have just absolutely fantastic credit, your credit score is way, way up there in the high 700s, you could probably get it at 15, 16%. But Joe average person is looking at least, 20% to 28% interest rate on that credit card from whatever. Okay. So you go get that credit card and then you max that credit card out. And you got other credit cards and you max out your other credit cards. And now all of a sudden, and you're going to love how this works, guys. You're going to love how this works. So you have max these out. Now you can't pay. You don't have the money to pay for whatever reason. So now you're going to default on, your credit cards. Now, does the bank lose with that? Let's think about that. So they've already got whatever amount of interest from you, this ridiculously high interest rate, which is, again, but you feel obligated. You feel, oh my God, I made this deal and I feel obligated. I have to pay this, blah, 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 whatever, right? But at any point in time during the course of that credit card having it, if they decide, well, the government has continued to raise interest rates, so we're going to increase your interest rate. And you go, well, wait a minute. I pay my credit card every month on time, never late. Why are you raising my interest? You know why they're raising your interest rates? Because they can, whenever they want to, for no reason. They could say, well, you have a heavy debt load. And I could say to them, well, wait a minute. Do I pay? Am I paying? Am I paying more than I should? Well, yes, sir, you are. So why are you raising my interest rates? Because they can, whenever they want to. Okay. It's what they can do. It's anytime they want to, they're running the show and you just have to take it, right? So now you can't pay. So, you go into default and then they start to call you like crazy. You get all these phone calls, right? They're calling you, they're sending you letters, you owe. Now, on top of that, they continue to jack up the interest, right? Now you're getting not only your interest, you're getting your late fee. Now think about this. Make a late payment on something today. I don't care what it is. I don't care if it's your mortgage. I don't care if it's your car payment. I don't care if it's your credit card. Pay it late and see what they're going to charge you. They're going to hit you for 35, 40 bucks. Go overdrawn on your checking account with the bank. They're going to hit you 25 bucks per one that bounces. So now not only do you have to pay, and that's again the bank, not only do you have to make up for that, but now you got to pay all these, overdraft fees. It's absolutely insane. And again, does nothing but benefit the bank or the credit lending institution. So now you can't pay. So what happens is you're terrible. You're a horrible person. They try to shame you, try to do whatever they can do and all this type of stuff. So then the bank goes, okay, well, this jerk not paying, right? So what they do is they take, let's say it's $10,000, right? So they sell your $10,000 debt to company B, right? And company B pays, and I'm making a number up because I don't know what the percentage is, but let's say they buy it for 30 cents on a dollar. So they pay the original creditor $3,000 of a $10,000 debt. Oh, yes, but guess what? The bank will write off the entire $10,000 as a loss at the end of the year. So they're not losing. They're not losing. Okay. They write that off. We lost that bad debt. It gets written off. And so it goes away for them. But then they sell that debt to company B on 30 cents on a dollar, right? And then so company B now starts to do and says, hey, listen, you owe 10,000, but if you pay us 6,000, we'll call the debt good, right? And you're thinking, wow, that's a pretty good deal. I owed 10, I only got to pay 6. But what you don't understand is if you do that, if you pay that 6,000, the rest of that money, that extra 4,000 you think just went away, no, no, no. It did not go away. You have to claim that as income on your taxes. I mean, the system, folks, I'm telling you right now, the system is completely rigged to screw you as much as they possibly can. It's incredible. It's incredible how it works. So it's just, and then if you do bankruptcy, obviously the way that they did it, if you guys remember, bankruptcy used to be you paid the lawyer XYZ amount of money and you were all of a sudden, boom, you're debt free. It was wonderful, right? Until Bush was in office, and I think it was the first Bush. First Bush was in office, and he signed the law that said you can't do it like that no more. You can't just walk away scot free and start fresh from scratch and have great credit again and start doing it all over again. You can't do that, right? Now, if you okay, so here's the way it works too. Okay, just information for you guys. So let's say you decide, screw it, I'm not paying. I'm not paying anything ever again. I don't give a crap, right? 10 years. It's 10 years on your credit report. 7 years done? Okay, 7 years. I'm sorry. Stays on your credit report for 7 years. Then after the 7 years, guess what? Well, now you're good again. Your credit score starts to go up because maybe you have a vehicle and you're paying your vehicle payment, right? You're paying your mortgage payment or whatever that case may be. But all those old bad credit card debts are now gone. They're off of there. They're not there anymore. They can't see them when they pull up your credit report. So now your credit score is going up because those debts aren't there anymore. And then guess what you can do? You can go right back out and get more credit cards. Isn't that awesome how the system works? It is insanity. It's insanity. And it's never in your best interest ever. Yes, in that 7 years, Don's making a good point. In that 7 years, you're paying a stupid amount of interest rate because of the bankruptcy too, or the default of loans or whatever. So like, okay, so that's another good point. And I want to bring that up too. And Don makes a great point on this. So you've defaulted on this. Now you have a horrible credit score. Your credit score is probably under 500. You're a huge risk, but you want to go get a car. Your car has crapped the bed. You have to have a new car. So you decide to go get a new car. Your interest rate that they're going to give you the car. They're going to give you the car. You're still there. Okay. You can still get a car, but your interest rate's going to be astronomical. Astronomical. Where if you have a credit score of 700 plus, like when I got my truck here, okay, what was my interest rate on the truck? My I think it was under 6% is my interest rate for my truck. For with my payment, so not terrible at all. You know, and but that's how it works, folks. If you got good credit score, you get rewarded, and if you have bad credit, then you're going to get punished. So you have to make a decision what you want to do, of course. And it's all relative to the fact that I may not live high in the hog, but I'm still fat and happy. There you go, ADK man. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, your credit score for insurance is affected too. Yep. Oh yeah. And then here's the other part of that. I forgot to bring this up as well. You decide you want to get a new job. All right. You want to get a new job. So you go to company B and you put in your application. They're going to look at your credit history. They're going to see I was at 827 and I can't get it over 800 now. Wow. That's crazy. Um, I have no mortgage or car payments. So the best way to live, guys, is not be in debt. That is the best way to live. If you can do it, that is absolutely the best way to live your lives because the system is completely rigged against you. It really truly is. And but yeah, it's just what do you know? It's part of the game. It's all part of the game, and they're all tied together, and they're all running it together. And everything is designed to squeeze every nickel out of you that they possibly can, and that's just the reality of it. So if you can not be in that debt and be able to go to work and have that money to use it as you want to, that's great. Uh, you know, the last two properties that I bought, this property here in West Virginia and my property in New York, um, both of those properties, I did a private mortgage with both of them. Didn't go through a bank, bought it directly from the owner. We agreed on an interest rate, and we went from there. And so that's the way that we did that. And gave them so much down. Here's the down money, and private mortgage and it wasn't no 30-year mortgage either, just so you know. But yeah, I lost points because I don't have debt. Yes, yep. Morning light. You're 100% right. If you don't have debt, you're punished as well. Yep, exactly. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? But you know, yeah. And think about this. I want you to right. These credit card companies come to colleges and they get these kids all signed up. They do it on purpose, guys, to get them in that trap. And a lot of people don't understand that it's a trap until all of a sudden, they figure, oh, I got this card, I can go do what I want, and then those bills start coming, and then reality hits. It puts a lot of kids behind the eight ball if they don't have somebody in the background telling them, you know, be careful with this. Don't do. Do I think you need to have a credit card? I do. I think you need to have at least one. Okay, use it very sparingly. You know, get gas here and there, maybe once or twice a month, and when the bill comes in at the end of each month, you just pay off what you owe. I know that I know somebody that plays the points game with using credit cards, and so they get they use their credit card to buy gas from here. They get points, they build up the points, it gets some free gas, and so they do that. And again, if you know how to work the system, it works really really well. So I heard my state sucks at teaching kids how to handle their money. Oh, they don't even teach them anything anymore, do they? And the thing is, it really shouldn't. That shouldn't be up to the states. That should be up to the parents. That should be up to the parents. So, but somebody's out there. Maybe it's Jimmy. Hold on a second, guys. I'll be right back. No, you're fine. All right, man. I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. It is Jimmy. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Jimmy because he's going to stay in the wolf's lair. But you hear something moving around outside, you want to go and check and see what it is. So, but yes, so Jimmy's here. But uh, you took some Pringles while I was gone. That's all right. There's plenty. Yeah, I don't mind sharing. Yeah, it's just well, you figure talk about what they're teaching our kids at school, right? I don't teach them cursive anymore. I think that's one of the biggest travesties that there are out there. They got rid of a lot of. They got rid of shop. They got rid of home economics. They got rid of you know. There used to be a class that I took. Um, I remember I took it with like a business type of class where you learn different things like that. I don't think they do that anymore either. And then the math that they teach these kids anymore, that Common Core crap. Like I said, if you can do it, I would highly recommend that you homeschool your kids because you're sending them off to these teachers, and not all teachers are bad. Please don't think that I'm saying, oh, they all suck, okay? But they're given a curriculum and they're given a directive by the people that are in charge. And it's not, they're programming these kids is what they're doing. So to me, it's like, you know, teach them basic business skills, teach them how to balance a checkbook, teach them the importance of, being smart with your money, save your money. If they start saving their money at an early age, if you're 20 years old and you put 25 bucks a week away, and diversify it, obviously, you'll have a ton of money by the time you get to retirement age. But they don't teach you stuff like that because they want to keep you in debt. They want it. The system is set up to keep you in a perpetual state of that you have to live at this level because that's the thing that you're taught to have to attain. You got to have the big house and the two cars and all the toys and everything else. You're taught that is what you should look for, right? You're also go to college. You got to go to college. You got to go to college, right? They don't tell you, hey, listen, screw college, go to trade school. You're going to make way more money and you're never going to be out of work. And you don't, yeah, no shop class. Yeah, they got rid of shop class, all that, And I remember taking shop. And, when we had to do home economics, I didn't want to, but we had to, you know. But, yeah, they want these kids to go to college because they come out of college, they're deeply in debt, and now they're paying, paying, paying. They're paying, paying, paying. And it's the system is just designed for failure. And like I said, if you encourage your kids, hey, listen, go be a plumber, go be a carpenter, go be an electrician, right? Learn that skill. By the time Joe Blow gets out of college and is party for 4 years, what comes out with his basket weaving, gender studies, communications degree, which next thing you know, he ain't getting that job thinking what he's thinking he's going to make $100,000 coming out of college, right? He ain't making that. You who went to trade school and did your apprenticeship, you're done with your apprenticeship. You got paid while you were doing your apprenticeship, not as much as the master electrician, but once you become the master electrician, now you're making bank. And oh yeah, by the way, you're not in debt. So it's just it's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So, like I said, I with Heather's super, super smart. Okay. And she went to college for a couple of years and then she had left because of their policies that they wanted to force the kids to do this. And we went, no, that's not going to happen. I told her, if you go back to school now, I said, look at something that's going to be beneficial to you. Look at that. I said, because 10 years is going to go by no matter what. Um, so get into, get into something that you can, really save on. So that's drive a garbage truck 75K a year. Yeah, I mean, there's jobs out there where you can make a very good living. And what you're forgetting about with driving the garbage truck, you can also garbage pick. Garbage picking, guys, I'll tell you what, I've scored some great stuff through the years of garbage picking. What garbage picking is, people throw it out, they put it out to the curb, and you buy and you see it and you go, hey, that chair looks pretty good still. And you stop and you grab it and you take it home. And it's free. And you got a nice chair. I've seen it so many times. Yeah, dumpster diving. Call it dumpster diving, garbage picking. But there is stuff out there that you can get. Neighbor kid went to lineman school, out of high school, is making $87 an hour now. Wow. There you go. Now that, okay. So being a lineman is a tough, tough job. They travel a lot. Okay. And it's highly dangerous job. but it's a definitely very needed job as well. So that's also, yeah, really smart. If you can get in, you look at these guys, okay? I talked to a lady. We were at the laundromat doing our laundry. Her husband works on the pipeline, so they travel all over the place. They go to all these different places on the pipeline, and he's making buku money, but they're like 3 months here and 3 months there, and then they go off to the next place. So they're traveling a lot, but making huge money. But she was telling me, like, right now, what's he doing? 12-hour days, 5 days a week here. He's doing 12-hour days. No, 6 days a week. I think it's 12-hour days, 6 days a week. She said when he was in New York and he's working on the pipeline up there somewhere, he was working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. No, thank you. That's too much. But yeah, it's just crazy, crazy. All right, we're like way behind now. Time has gotten away from me. We'll extend it a little past. I don't care. It doesn't really matter. But anyway, let's do this right now. We'll do some shout outs real quick. And I'm going to go really quickly with that so we can kind of get back on things. Again, I got to go back. I got to make a new list. I don't know where my other one is, to be honest with you. Being honest, I have no idea where it is. So, but anyway, we'll do what we have Heavenly Hills Homestead doing giant vegetables and stuff like that. Really cool to watch. A lot of good information there when it comes to growing. So definitely check him out. You have Icky Can up in Canada, living off grid up there, sharing his experience with that, which I think is neat as well. You also have Angry Prepper. It's Jason down in New York City, another good guy. There's Green Greg's. There's Mary Greeley News with all the latest updates of the Yellowstone and everything like that. You have Marfugal News with Adam and Dax, and out on the West Coast, you have Pinball Preparedness. There is East Tennessee Preparedness. You have Doug and Stacy's another good channel. You have the Nomadic Movement, Appalachian Homestead with Patera. There is Alaska Prepper with Rudy. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team. There's Gray Man Prepping. You have, let's see, there's Ryan Hall, y'all, with the weather. Ryan Hall's a great guy. Gives back to the community in a huge way. So I love Ryan Hall. Plus, he's so passionate about the weather. It's awesome. Uh, you have Simple Life Reclaimed. There's Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel. You have Russell Brand. I gives you the information and lets you decide what you want to do with it. And I like that. Uh, but there is Suspicious Observer. You have Camping with Steve Wallace, doing stealth camping. Um, there is 80K Man up in the Adirondacks. Let's see. Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Love him too. Truly Tara, doing makeup videos for those of you that are interested in that. There's Magic Prepper in North Dakota. You have Wrangle Star. That is Cody. Another good channel. A lot of good information on that channel as well. Let's see. There is Southern Prepper 1. You have Bizariza Jizza doing the Carrington Chronicles. Survival Lily coming at you out of Europe with all the information over there. So we're going to kind of end it there really quickly. So I'm going to have to go back to one of my other live streams, and I'm going to have to listen to my own self and write the names back down again. And I'll do that. I'll make a new list on a clean one. See, I'll get one of the clean notepads, so it won't be the one that sat outside in the weather for a couple of weeks, unless I can find it. I got a couple things that I need to go through to look to see if I can find it, but that's kind of where I'm at with that. So anyway, but yeah, there's a lot of good channels out there. There's a lot of good information. I do believe we should be supporting each other. I think that is important that we do that, and we kind of go from there. So because if they're not pushing us out there, we should be pushing each other out there, right? That's kind of where I do it. Anyway, so get another drink here real quick. All right. Our Self-Reliant Life, oh, formerly the Green Dream Project. Oh, they changed it? See, I didn't even know they changed it. But anyway, guys, we are legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where's everybody from tonight? And the good legion, not the bad biblical legion. I'm so tired of people talking about that. It's nothing to do with it. Franklin County, Ohio. We have Arkansas with Lady Kicks. Omaha, Nebraska with Larry. And we got Ireland over there with Full of Hope. Neighbor Bob in Pennsylvania, Morning Light in West Virginia, Dawn in the UP of Michigan, Emil in BC, Canada, Nowhere, Oklahoma with Okie Forge, Connecticut with Awesome Sauce, Central Iowa with Robert, Inverness, Florida with Clyden House, Central New York with Village Homestead. We got Always Early in Tennessee, Nova Scotia, Canada, North Carolina, the beautiful Pennsylvania Wilds with Pennsylvania Granny, Southwest Iowa, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Carol, Kit down in the west coast of Florida, the Ozark Mountains in Missouri with Forest Ghost Preparedness. We got Virginia with Critter Lover, East Central Illinois with Lana, 80K Man up in the frozen Adirondacks. We got Michigan, Eastern Kentucky with James, Northwest Indiana with Marcia, Dayton, Ohio with Rhonda, Cape Cod, Mass, Birdsboro, Pennsylvania with Melissa, Fayetteville, North Carolina with Prepared Family, Dansville, New York with Sean. Hey, Sean, what's up, brother? That's my daughter's boyfriend, just so you guys know. How are you, young man? We got Janet in BC, Canada, uh, Delbert Jones in Missouri in the Ozarks, uh, San Bernardino, California, That Garden's Life, West Central Ohio with Dale, Montreal, Quebec, Canada with Daniel. So all over the country, folks, all over the world, huge, huge networks. I didn't know if I saw Philip. Philip from Melbourne, Australia. He was here. Hopefully, he's still here. So, but all over the country, guys, all over the world, huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that truly can make a difference now. We can make a difference afterward as well when something happens because people will be more willing to listen then. Hendersonville, North Carolina with Karen. I know exactly where that is. I live down in that area. So glad to have you here, Karen. But yeah, I used to live in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. So, and then I worked in a psychiatric hospital in Butner, North Carolina. And I actually worked part time as a waiter in Durham, North Carolina, at an Olive Garden way back. We got Metro Detroit, Michigan with William. Oh, the weather guy Marcia is Ryan Hall Y'all. So look up Ryan Hall, and he goes under Ryan Hall Y'all. And really good weather guy, very, very passionate about the weather. And like I said, he gives back to the community. If there's a disaster somewhere, he really supports the communities in a huge, huge way. Oh, I love Olive Garden too, Don. I worked there and I loved eating there too. Yeah, I actually went recently, did lunch, and okay, so guys, you want a cheap meal for like $10, and you'll come out of there full. Soup and salad at the Olive Garden because you get the breadsticks, which the breadsticks are awesome. All the salad you want to eat and all the soup. Have you been around North Carolina? Yeah, oh, absolutely. I've been up through Asheville area, loved it up there. Beautiful, beautiful area up there. Beautiful. Asheville is just absolutely gorgeous. So the rivers up when I was going up to Asheville, and I'll tell you this because I'll never forget this. There was rocks in the river that were as big as houses, and I called it like to God. Like God took this rock and said, "I'm going to put this right here in the middle." Of the Just absolutely fantastic. There's a place up there called Chimney Rock. If you guys ever get a chance, you get to North Carolina, look up Chimney Rock, go there, check that out. It is amazing. It's amazing. So, but yeah, the soup and salad, pasta visual is the soup. Really, really good soup. So, for the soup and salad, if you go, You get the soup and it's like $10, and then obviously you're gonna get a drink. So I mean, you get out of there pretty cheap. Now, if you're gonna get the other stuff, obviously it's gonna be more expensive. The other stuff is really good though as well. I've always liked Olive Garden. Even when like when I worked there, I loved eating the food even then. So, but it had been a while since I had been. But like I said, oh, Delbert said I used to live near Chimney Rock. Oh, that's cool. Looked at some property in Bat Cave, North Carolina. Like I said, I love North Carolina. Not gonna lie, I absolutely love North Carolina. So, but family stuff happened back in New York. I got called back to New York and planned on. So here's how it worked. Okay, I said, okay, I'm coming back to New York for like 6 months, and then I'm out of here again. And then I had the chance to go to school, and so I went to school. Then I met the first wife, got married, did that. That didn't work out. Got on my own, was living in an apartment, doing great. It was me and my cat Benny. And then I got married the second time, and then had kids, and and the next thing you know, 30 years later, you go, okay, hey, I'm finally getting out of here. It happens. Life gets in the way. It does. But you know, used to hang glide off Grandfather's Mountain. Now that's cool, Tony. Yeah, like I said, it's beautiful, beautiful down there. Asheville's gotten hugely expensive, but it's a beautiful area. Like I said, I love North Carolina. Love the weather. I remember swimming in an outdoor pool in April. Now the weather outside was nice. The pool was a little chilly, but I didn't care. I was like, I'm going swimming. So, but yeah, you're not doing that in New York in April. I can guarantee you that. I don't care what the weather's doing up there. You are not swimming in an outdoor pool there. The traffic in Asheville is brutal now. Oh, I can imagine. I hate to think what it's like now. And when I'm talking 30 years ago, folks. So, you know, yeah. So anyway, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job keeping the chat clean. Ladies and gentlemen that moderate for me, thank you so much. I do appreciate it. I know I got a little bit on my soapbox tonight, but it wasn't bad though. Sharing information, right? That's all we can do. But again, be careful, especially if you're younger. Don't get caught up in the traps that they have set up for you. Don't, you know, uh, just do the best you can. Try to live your life. Try to be free. Try to be happy. You know, don't be a slave to the system. That's probably the biggest thing that I could tell you. You know, live within your means. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Save the money up and then buy it. But Eddie, have you ever been to the Biltmore? Yes, I have. Yep, very cool as well. Here's another place which is awesome, and 80K man probably knows this place very well. Get up to the Thousand Islands. There's Alexandria Bay. They used to do a thing called Pirates Weekend. I'm sure they still do it. I went 3 years in a row up to Pirates Weekend. The St. Lawrence. And if you knew somebody that had a boat, which we did, this guy had this huge boat. I mean, we probably had 15, 20 people on this guy's boat, and so this I'll never forget, guys. You want to talk about scary? Oil tankers going through the St. Lawrence River, right? So here's this guy. He's got this big old boat. We're good. We're screwing along until we hit the wakes from the oil tanker. And this big old boat, and I'm talking big, big boat, airborne, hit one of those wakes, and that boat went up in the air. And I remember going, "Oh, this ain't gonna be good." Yeah, and it wasn't. It wasn't. But yeah, those are. That was interesting. But it's gorgeous up through there. All kinds of islands. We went to somebody they owned an island. They had a house on an island. So we went there and they had like the jet skis and we're like, yeah, go ahead, take the jet skis out. Not a good idea with somebody like me, an adrenaline junkie. Now those jet skis would only do like 45, 50 miles an hour back then. I don't know what they can do now, but man, I had it pegged. I had it pegged. And so a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So good times. Thinking back on those memories, man. Wow. No, did not see the Loch Ness monster. No. Now that was before I got married the second time. That was I was hanging out with some friends and we went up there and we used to have a great time. Great time. Talking about, oh my God, just no, it didn't capsize, but like I said, we went out of the water, and when we hit again, the boat literally like bounced, and the engine quit, and it took a while to get that all sorted out and get it figured out. But yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild. I'll never forget that. So I'll tell you another. I'll tell you a quick story. I'll tell you a quick story before we jump off of here. So we're on the St. Lawrence River, and they had these boats they call it the booze cruise. So you got on the boat, and it was two decks. You had the lower deck, and you had the upper deck. So we're up on the upper deck, and it's opened up, and you can see everything. And so we're drinking. We're just acting a fool, just having a good old laugh. So here comes a boat. The other way, all the family and the kids and everybody and everybody up there when they would go by, everybody waves, hey, how are you, right? So here I am, and I go to one of my buddies. I go, watch this. And so everybody's all waving, hi. I turn around and I mooned him, right? And you see this go from ooh. My buddy goes, what are you doing? He goes, they're gonna kick you off the boat. I said, we're in the middle of the St. Lawrence River. They're not kicking me off the boat. Nobody said anything, but yeah, that's just being a goof. But that was pretty funny. So in my misspent youth, folks, okay, my misspent youth, would I do it today? Probably. So anyway, guys, on that note, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we can figure that one out, we're going to be in much, much better shape. Also, remember to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day how you feel. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life, so it's really important you tell the people that you care about every day how you feel. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only one stopping you from achieving your goals is you. That's it, nobody else. Stay positive, stay away from the negativity, and you're going to be just fine. Have a great day, everybody. I will see you all later. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.